to have a bruised foot. Tapit Trice and Angel of Empire both listed at 9-2 odds after Forte's withdrawal. They're the current favorites. The race will start around 6:45 Eastern Time. Major League Baseball, Houston right-hander Luis Garcia needs Tommy John surgery and will miss the remainder of the season. He was placed on the injured list after leaving Monday's start against the Giants with elbow discomfort, throwing only 8 pitches. In Major League Baseball, a couple of games set to get going in the next 20 minutes or so. Quarter after the hour to be the Tigers and Cardinals in St. Louis. Marlins and Cubs will square off at 2:20 Eastern Time. NBA playoff action, a couple of games. The Knicks and Heat getting things started off at 3:30.
This is the My Guy Referrals Weather Center. Visit myguy.com for 5-star local referrals. Make My Guy your guy.
Beautiful day ahead of us. We'll top out at 84 degrees on your Saturday. Overnight, fair skies and a cool 61. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Corey McCloskey.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm, your ticket to the sleep you need. Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale. Save up to $700 and get a free adjustable base on select mattresses. Plus, you can rest easy knowing you have the 120-night sleep trial to make sure your new bed is perfect.
Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the Points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome in, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff, another edition of Take the Points. We're at the Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona, and happy you could join us. We're taking up to 1 o'clock today, and a lot to get to, Jackson, as we've got NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. We've got baseball going on, but the big event of the day, and you know it's big, when we can pull Marco D'Angelo back onto the show.
Whoa, he's coming back?
We get him exclusively during football season. And we appreciate the fact that this year he extended that to the Final Four. Then he's like, dude, I got to move on. I got a lot to do here in Vegas. But Marco has agreed to come on to talk Kentucky Derby with us, and he'll join us at 11:30, which we are absolutely stoked about.
Marco, just a little.
I knew you would be happy.
A little pre-witch. Oh, I'm so happy. I love talking to Marco. Brings some knowledge. I'm excited to see what knowledge he brings, what unusual, crazy, out of this atmosphere facts that he can come up with. There's a lot of headlines. I mean, we've seen some horses that have passed away earlier in the week.
Yeah.
It just came out that Forte, the favorites, had to withdraw. He scratched this morning, so there's a lot going on over there in Churchill Downs that we'll get into throughout the show.
Well, and you scratched the favorite. This was like, I think I heard 7-2. So like a pretty dominant favorite with a large field. You withdraw that horse and it blows it wide open. And again, if you follow Marco on Twitter at Marco in Vegas, he actually tweeted out this morning when Forte was scratched that they redid the picks and had to go back to the drawing boards real quick. And so you're going to see a lot of that, and the numbers are definitely going to move as we get ready for post time later on this evening. But yeah, we'll talk to Marco D'Angelo about the Kentucky Derby coming up. He is a great football and basketball guy. I mean, he's got great knowledge. He shares it with us every week when he comes on. He is passionate, Jackson. He is passionate about horse racing. So really happy that Marco agreed to spend some time with us, not only for this race, but for the other 2 races in horse racing's Triple Crown. So Marco D'Angelo with us at 11:30. And then at 12:30, we hope to catch up with Mark Knudsen from Denver, a former major leaguer, pitched with the Brewers. But he is now working in media. He's part of Woody Page's team at woodypage.com. You see Woody Page on ESPN all the time, and he's got a great resource up there, woodypage.com, once he left the Denver Post. And Mark is part of that and writes some great columns, also does some radio work. So I hope to catch up with Mark Knudsen at 12:30 and talk about this Nuggets-Suns series. The Nuggets dropped Game 3 last night at the Footprint Center in downtown Phoenix. And in rank order of things that I thought was pretty cool yesterday about the Suns winning. Number one, what are you going to say about Kevin Durant and Devin Booker?
Jeez.
I mean, the numbers, and you've got those. I'll let you do that in a second. The numbers are ridiculous. Those 2 guys, I was going to say single-handedly, but together, the dynamic duo wins this game for the Suns. So that was absolutely amazing. But a close second, just having this come back to Phoenix and the crowd and the reaction of the crowd, and they all got nervous like we did at home watching this game on TV in the third quarter and even late into the fourth quarter. But when the game was sealed, like a minute to go, the crowd standing up as the Suns were killing the clock, that was remarkable. So shout out, kudos to the fans in downtown Phoenix last night. Just a great event. But Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, the numbers are ridiculous.
I mean, it's crazy. I feel like we take greatness for granted when it came to a standpoint where coming into this, people realized, hey, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant got to combine for 70 points at least to win. 35 points apiece is absolutely ridiculous. Usually when a superstar scores 20 to 25 points, they get recognition. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, Devin Booker, 47, Durant, 39, combined for 86, with DeAndre Ayton combined for 90, which you look at it, if I told you that DeAndre Ayton, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker combined for 90 points, you would not think it'd be 47, 39, and 4. You would think at least, okay, maybe DA got 20 points. Well, that wasn't the case last night. I got a little stat for you, Gross, because what we're seeing from Devin Booker is absolutely ridiculous. Yep. Something we haven't seen since Michael Jordan. Devin Booker's 295 points in this year's playoffs is the most points scored throughout 8 games in a postseason since Michael Jordan, who was just 30 points ahead. Now, let me give you a stat about his shooting percentage. He's averaging 36.9 points, and he's shooting 69.5% total shooting, 76% from the restricted area, 57% floater range, 52% from mid-range, 80% corner three, 42% pull-up three, and 68% catch-and-shoot threes. And he's 26 years old.
It's remarkable. It is absolutely remarkable, and I hate to be the downer in this conversation.
Uh-oh.
But what he and Kevin Durant did together last night, it's not sustainable. I shouldn't say that. It may be sustainable because those two are that good based on what you just said.
But you
can't expect it night in and night out, right? And so you look at this. We are 3 games in to a 4-game series. And to expect them to carry the team for the next 4 games, if it goes that far, is not realistic. So you gave the numbers for Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Now give us a stat line for DeAndre Ayton.
Well, the thing about
the single stat line, because I love they combined for 90 points. That's beautiful. Because if you're just like, okay, cool, give me like the down and dirty. You're like, hey, they combined for 90. I'm like, cool, that's great. I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But give me DeAndre Ayton's stat line.
So I also forgot to mention that 18 of those free throws, 16 for 18, 14 of those, 14 of 16 was Durant. 2 of 2 was Booker. And I'm going to say that because DeAndre Ayton, 0 free throws attempted, 0 free throws made, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 offensive rebound, 8 defensive rebounds, 4 points. 4 points for DeAndre Ayton. No free throws, 2 of 6. Gross, I'm going to give this to you. You can banter.
And worse than that was the body. You talked about this before we came on air. Chris Paul was brought in to do a lot of things for the Phoenix Suns,
but most importantly, lead
and help develop guys who need developing. Guess who didn't need developing in leadership? Devin Booker didn't need that. DeAndre Ayton needed that. And the interaction we saw a couple of times with DeAndre Ayton coming off the court when Chris Paul tried to engage him was disturbing. I'll say disturbing. Like, Chris Paul, he's been there, done that. And so if you're DeAndre Ayton and you're frustrated, if you're DeAndre Ayton, you're pissed off, if you're DeAndre Ayton and whatever's going through your head, you might be mad at the coaches, whatever, right? And I get that, the heat of the moment, the battle, whatever. But when you see Chris Paul trying to engage you, you don't blow him off. You don't brush him aside, get that surly looking face on, and just disregard what a guy like Chris Paul is trying to do. Because we saw some development from DeAndre Ayton once Chris Paul got here, and people were right to give Chris Paul credit for that. And the fact that whatever he was thinking or feeling or whatever it was last night, he couldn't see that. It is so disturbing. It just bothers me to no end.
So the media asked Devin Booker and Monty Williams, not DeAndre Ayton, because DeAndre Ayton left the locker room right after the game. Obviously, talked to his teammates, talked to the coaches, and left before media could even get their hands on him. Devin Booker on DeAndre Ayton last night, he said, energy always has to be a high, can't get into your own head. And he said himself could see it in him, and he needs to be that guy to pump him up. Monty Williams said, Jock gave us great energy. He scraped. D.A. didn't have his best game, but it's nice to have your brother there to pick you up, which congrats. You got to give kudos to Jock Landale.
Yeah.
This is a guy that isn't as talented, isn't as athletic as DeAndre Ayton.
You're being kind.
And he's making probably what? Like a fifth of his salary, a fraction of his salary, and he just goes out there and he hustles. 3 for 3 last night, 9 rebounds, 6 total points, which was more than DeAndre Ayton. But something I want to talk about too, Gross, is yes, the Suns won last night by 7, but does it still concern you that they got out-rebounded by 10 last night?
Oh, yeah. No, and that's what I was alluding to before.
9 offensively.
Right, and that's what I was alluding to before, and on both counts, where you had amazing games from your big two, right? And then when I asked you to read DeAndre Ayton's stat line, that was part of it, right? Because we know, DeAndre Ayton, nobody has expectations that he's going to drop 40. Mm-hmm. He's never been asked to do that, and we don't expect that. But as the 5, and I know he's not a traditional 5, play with your back to the basket type of guy, but he is the 5 on the floor. He's your big guy. You have to be willing to go in there and get rebounds and mix it up a little bit. At least make it difficult on the Nuggets to get rebounds. When a lot of this goes uncontested, and this goes back to what I was saying before, you're up double digits at halftime, and I stepped away and come back in the third quarter, got hockey on the brain. When I come back in the third quarter and I see the game's tied, I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, quick, I'm going to be completely honest, because I turned the game off. I had some other things I had to take care of. I quick looked to see, did somebody get hurt, and I missed it? Like, is somebody else hurt besides Chris Paul? Like, how did that happen? Because they looked so good. They looked like they were going to run away with this thing, and they ended up winning by 7. But it was single digits the last couple minutes into the final part of the game. So, yeah, it is worrisome. And you talk about the scoring will come, right? But when you talk to guys and you hear people that know the game a heck of a lot better than I do, what is rebounding in defense? It's effort. It's attitude. It's a mindset. And he clearly didn't have it last night.
And on the other side, I mean, Nikola Jokic, they're not going to be able to stop him, but they've got to be able to do something to get him uncomfortable. I mean, 30 points last night, but I think the stat that really stands out to me, obviously he got 17 rebounds, but 17 assists. When have we ever seen a big man, a center like that, have 17 assists in the vision he has on the court?
And some of those passes,
unbelievable.
Some of those passes, the bounce pass into the key late,
Yeah.
That was so ridiculous. Hey, it's time for our national champion, Ryan Sirk, his EPL pick of the week.
He's hot right now.
He's on a roll. He's 5-2 over the last 7 selections. And the EPL pick of the week this week from Ryan is Manchester United versus West Ham. He wants you to take the over 2.5 goals. Last time these two teams faced off, it ended 3-1. West Ham has scored in its last 6 games, has gone over 2.5 goals in each of those games. And if you want to add a player to this as a prop, he suggests you take a look at Marcus Rashford. He believes Marcus Rashford will score for Manchester United. So the play from Ryan Sirk is Manchester United and West Ham take the over 2.5 goals. And if you want to add a player, maybe do a player and a totals prop, Marcus Rashford to score a goal for Manchester United. That's our EPL pick of the week, brought to you by our national champion, Ryan Sirk. He joins us every week virtually. And one of these days, we got to get him out here so we can say hello.
Yeah, we haven't met him
I
yet.
told him, if you come out, I'll buy you a breakfast sandwich, because I made money. The last 3 weeks, I have taken his pick and I have wagered on it, and I have won every time. So I feel like I owe the guy, and he won't come collect on his winnings. But we appreciate Ryan making his picks every week. We'll step aside and we'll talk some Kentucky Derby.
Let's go.
That's coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. Clear your calendars. The The NFL schedule release is coming. The premier matchups. Just like we drew it up. The primetime showdowns. Look at their schedule. The weddings you will not be attending. May 11th, Fox Sports 910.
It's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings. And we make it simple.
We sure do, no matter what the occasion. At Venezia's, we make catering easy. You can see our entire catering menu online at venezias.com. Or let us know how we can help at one of our 6 locations, including the newest, now open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
Right Toyota, the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the state of Arizona, ensures you a buying experience that will exceed all your expectations. Check it out for yourself. Located just off the 101 on Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at righttoyota.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4.
Yeah, but still on marker on our back wall here.
Broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe, here to tell you the biggest thing I've learned about insurance companies over the years, and it's really simple. They don't care about you. That's it. Insurance companies are publicly traded companies who have an obligation to their shareholders to deliver profits. They have teams of investigators, adjusters, and lawyers all working against you from the moment you call them, and they want to pay you as little as possible for your injuries. Hurt in a wreck? Don't be a victim of the insurance companies. Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Arizona's largest locally owned A+ BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
Golfers, swing into Van's Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1963. Let us help you find the hottest gear from bags, balls, shoes, and apparel. All in stock at the best prices. Come in and test drive the latest arrivals from Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, and more. While you're there, get custom fit by one of our golf experts. Van's Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup. So check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segments.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Have you ever heard of a no-no guarantee? Parker & Sons loves to say no. That might sound bad, but let me tell you what they mean. There will be no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. They have same-day service with no extra fees. No charging for something you don't need. You will always get a reliable tech with honest recommendations. No answering services. There's always a live person to answer your calls, and there will be no Melvins on your job. Saying no can be a good thing. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, then REPAIR for Parker & Sons. ROC number 152656.
When life gets overwhelming, help is only a phone call away. Trained and caring crisis specialists are available 24/7 at 844-534-HOPE to assist with suicidal thoughts, substance use issues, depression, anxiety, and more. You are never alone. When you need
you have to do it through TVG.
For HOPE from anywhere in Arizona.
It's really stupid. I don't know why.
For HOPE now or text the word HOPE to 4HOPE 44673. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports.
You're live.
Ate my breakfast sandwich. Check. Finishing off my iced tea. Check. Talking sports with Jackson Groff. Check in progress. Welcome back. Marco D'Angelo from wagertalk.com joins us in about 10 minutes. He'll help us with the Kentucky Derby. Before we do that, and I know we said we were doing the Derby, you guys, you and Bauer specifically, I think incorrectly criticized me for picking up like Marco's suggestions and his breakdown of certain events and taking them on as my own. Like when we're doing a football game and I say, the Los Angeles Chargers have rushed for over 200 yards in their last 7 road games and are 4-3 against the spread in that time. You guys look at me like, that's from Marco, you hack, taking his line. I'm doing this on my own before Marco did it. Keep an eye on the Detroit Tigers.
Really?
I'll tell you why. They beat the St. Louis Cardinals last night in St. Louis to improve, and I use that term loosely, to 14-7. But the Detroit Tigers, Jackson, are 2-14 against the American League East, and they are 12-3 against the rest of Major League Baseball. And they only have a handful of games left against the American League East with the way the schedules are set up this year. They opened up early, and they got a heavy dose of the Tampa Bay Rays when they were going on that tear that they opened the season with. So keep an eye on those Detroit Tigers. 14-17 overall, but they're 2-14 against the American League East, 12-3 against the rest of Major League Baseball. They play the St. Louis Cardinals this afternoon. I think it's just underway from the Gateway City.
That's your team, too.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. It's numbers. It's all numbers. I take the passion out of it. But no, the Kentucky Derby coming up, and we were talking about it during the break, and you got to hunt around if you want to get some money down on the Kentucky Derby. I know locally you can hit Turf Paradise. They obviously it's a big day for them out there, but a lot of our listeners have apps with the various betting companies, and you can't just log on to, say, FanDuel, for example, and go and say, I want to put, $2 on Forte to win. Well, they wouldn't let you do that now since Forte is scratched, but you get my point. You have to set up an account with TVG, and then you set up a separate account. They have a partnership, in this case, with FanDuel, but they probably have a partnership with everybody else. You cannot wager on the Derby today at the Sportsbook here at Casino Arizona. So it's kind of a controlled environment where you can do that. And so you gotta be careful. And we talk to people all the time. Don't roll up in here in the CAZ Sportsbook as kickoff is happening and expect to get money down, because you've got to get that before the game or the race or whatever it is starts. So if you want to wager on the Kentucky Derby, our advice to you, Jackson, is plan ahead. Well, number one, listen to Marco D'Angelo coming up in our next segment, but then plan ahead, because you can't just log on to your regular sports app, whatever you got on your sports wagering app that you've got on the phone. You've got to do a little homework and probably set up a separate account someplace. So the big news of the morning as we get ready for the race is that Forte, the favorite, has scratched. And I know there's not a lot of details out there, but you've been reading up on that, Jackson. What's the latest? What can you tell us about Forte scratching before today's Kentucky
Forte
Derby?
is the 5th horse to scratch since the field was entered on Monday. He's the 6th Derby contender that has been cut out of the race due to, I believe it might have been an injury, according to this article from Sports Illustrated. After 1 mile gallop this morning, the trainer and the owner of Forte met with a veterinarian for a long and at times animated conversation. Shortly thereafter, Forte, who entered at 7-2 odds, which is plus 350, I believe.
That sounds about right.
Was scratched from the race. So, which is crazy. I want to ask Marco, because you know how usually in sports you can bet ahead of time. What happens if you bet a ton of money on Forte? Obviously, you would get your money back. But if you're one of those top tier money making bettors, maybe they put all of their money, all of their Kentucky Derby funds on one horse. Can they get it back in time to bet on someone else, or will it take a couple days for them to get refunded, depending on if they did it in person or online?
Meanwhile, all of our media partners that we go to get news updates, and in the case of the Kentucky Derby, latest odds, they're scrambling. They're scrambling to update all of this and look at what exactly does this mean to the race, right? And as you said, you've had 5 horses scratched so far, so you are down now to 18 horses that are in the Kentucky Derby. And typically, and again, I am far from an expert on the sport of horse racing, but usually you see the largest field in the Kentucky Derby, primarily because it's first, right? And you weed out a lot of the horses. Sometimes we've had in history where for health reasons, you've had horses sit out the Kentucky Derby and then maybe come in when they go to the other two races in Baltimore and New York. But in this case, you are going with 18 horses to start. And, looking at some of the names now that are starting to get some attention, you've got the number 14 horse, Angel of Empire. You've also got the 15 horse, who I can't find in my notes. That's terrible.
Oh, I got you.
Rocket Can, I believe. So
18, yeah.
18, excuse me.
Because 15 was Forte. The other favorites, Angel of the Empire.
Angel of the Empire.
9-2. And Tap It Trice is at 9-2. And then two Phil's, horse number 3, 7-1 odds.
And our guy that runs the sports book here, not advice, but he's like, hey, keep an eye on number 2. If it doesn't rain, it's a fast horse. So everybody's got their predictions, right? But just interesting, again, to see the shakeup when you have a favorite. Because, look, horse racing is like that, right? And you outlined it a little bit. We're not experts, so we don't want to go too deep into what's going on with horse racing. But unfortunately, it's one of those sports that's getting a lot of scrutiny, because, these are beautiful, majestic animals. And, when you hear about something like a horse that is the caliber to be able to even be entered into a race like the Kentucky Derby dying before the race, that's news. Like that gets your attention, right? So I'm glad whatever the issue was with Forte, even though it takes away from the story today, that they made the decision to hopefully do what's right for the horse's health. But this was something going on leading up to this. Yesterday, Kentucky Derby, the spokesman from Kentucky Derby, he was online. You can find the video. He was adamant that no way are they going to scratch Forte. But I think you mentioned that they had the horse out on the track this morning. Something happened, and the veterinary committee from the state of Kentucky, the racing commission, the doctors that care for these horses were out there looking, and in conjunction with ownership made the decision to scratch the horse.
Yeah, there hasn't been any reports on why he was, scratched, but I'm assuming because they met with the veteran that it had to have been something related to his health. But
yeah, they're worse than the National Hockey League. At least they can. If it's a hockey player scratches, you don't know what happens. At least they tell you if it's an upper body injury or lower body injury.
True.
So hopefully we'll find out what happened to Forte, find out what that means to the horse's racing future. We'll step aside here. On the other side, we head to Las Vegas, and a guy that can break it down a heck of a lot better than we can, our good friend Marco D'Angelo, joins us next right here on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's summer playcation package, starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer Playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup, so check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segments.
Join Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy D Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
With every other attorney out there claiming to be the right attorney for you, it's time we look at the facts. Lerner & Rowe has helped over 150,000 injured people receive compensation for their injuries. We've recovered billions of dollars, with over $1 billion recovered in the last 5 years alone. We have over 50 attorneys and over 400 legal professionals and their resources to fight for you. The reality is, there's Lerner & Rowe, then there's everybody else. Interact, need a check?
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Cream locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of Game Day.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, rock for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice.
Marco is ready.
Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Give back to Arizona and be part of something bigger than yourself. When you sign up for AmeriCorps, you open a door to make a difference. Serve as a teacher, protect nature, support veterans, or help where your passion lies. Part-time or full-time, student or senior, AmeriCorps is for everyone. Sign up at serve.az.gov. That's serve.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family.
Joe Brown here with Accident Law Group. If you were hurt in an accident, find us on the web at accidentlawgroup.com.
Only iHeartRadio gives you access to all of your favorite radio stations.
Rover's Morning Glory.
It's The Woody Show.
It's Elliot in the morning.
All of the once-in-a-lifetime events. iHeartRadio Music Festival. All of the best free curated playlists. It's everything that rocks. All of the great podcasts for every interest.
This is Freddie Prinze Jr. from the Wrestling with Freddie podcast.
All of the mind-blowing contests.
$20,000.
Awesome. All of your favorite superstars.
This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
I think post time is like
Download the absolutely free
3:45.
Who's a lock? Who should you stay away from? Take the
They have like 12 races.
CAZ Sports Bar's resident handicap.
Yeah.
Marco D'Angelo of Wager Talk.
I think the Derby's like the 11th race of the day.
Sports 910.
You're live.
Oh, we haven't heard this for a while. We love the music, and we love the trip off to Las Vegas to say hello and welcome back to our good friend Marco D'Angelo from WagerTalk.com. Good morning, Marco.
Marco! Let's go, baby. Welcome back.
I love it. It's been a busy morning, guys. This year's Kentucky Derby's just been horses have been dropping like flies, but the big news was early this morning when they had to scratch the number 15 horse, Forte, who was the morning line favorite in the race. They had to scratch him. This track veterinarian, bruised foot, didn't want to take a chance. And that was a state scratch, not the trainer. So that was instituted for the safety of the horses. But now it changes a lot of stuff in this race. And for me, you guys want to know who I like. And the horse that I like, when we started the week, guys, I was on number 14. I'm still on number 14, but I was looking at 8-1 in the morning line. Well, with all of the scratches that we've had, we're still, a couple hours away from the Kentucky Derby. He is now the favorite at 4-1. And that's still a good price, but we've got another dilemma that's looming large here. And you guys have all heard about No Mattress Mac. What he does with his bets with, the Super Bowl and World Series, with the promotions he does down in Houston at his furniture store. Well, I was doing a radio show yesterday, and we had him on and got to talk to him, and he's doing his promotion for the Kentucky Derby. His promotion is he is betting the favorite at close to post time. The deal is if the favorite wins the Kentucky Derby, the people that bought furniture leading up to the Derby get their furniture purchase, if it was $5,000 or more, for free. Here's the problem. The 14 is sitting at 4-1, and the 5-horse, Tapit Trice, is sitting at 9-2. So slight favorite. There's only $100,000 separating them two in the win pools. He's going to have to wait as long as he possibly can to see who the favorite is of which one he decides to bet on. And once he makes that bet and puts $1 million into the betting pool, it's going to absolutely kill the odds on that particular horse. And right now, that's my horse, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me, Marco, how, when sporting events happen, the odds obviously come out the week before, the week of, and people, like you said, you were prepping all week to see Forte, and then hours before the race, he scratches. How does his scratching kind of affect, other bettors, other sportsbook people when it comes to this race? Like, do people kind of usually wait until the morning of or place their bets earlier? Because, his odds were obviously higher before even this morning, and then now he's taken off. Just kind of talk to me about how that works.
Yeah, most people, you could start betting the Derby yesterday. With the Kentucky Oaks going yesterday, you can start betting it. Anybody that's already bet the race and has the 5-horse on their ticket at all, they're going to get a refund for that particular bet. Now, if you have, if you made a 4-horse box and you had him as one of those 4 numbers, you're not getting your whole ticket refunded. That 4-horse ticket then becomes a 3-horse ticket, and you'll get the difference of the money back. But what it creates is anybody that did bet, they got to go back and scramble to pick up, what they want to do, if they want to add another horse. And that's what I had to do for my clients today, because I set my plays out to my clients overnight. I wake up at 6:30 this morning here Vegas time, and my phone, I've got 25 texts from everybody, and I'm like, oh boy, this is not good. When you wake up, especially since I only went to bed at 3 a.m. because I was up late working, never a good sign to have that many texts in the morning. And so we had to restructure all of our tickets. But my top choice was always number 14, Angel of Empire. I like this horse. It's coming from, one of the best trainers in the country right now, hottest. In Brad Cox's barn, got what I feel is one of the top 3 jockeys in the country in Flavian Pratt. And what I like about this horse is he's lightly raced. He's improving in every start. His speed figures have improved. But Flavian Pratt rode him for the first time last time out. The horse won easy, made a big move. Flavian Pratt also rode the 6-horse, King's Barn. That horse is very lightly raced, only 3 career starts, but he's 3 for 3. He's won all of his races. Flavian Pratt had his choice of who he wanted to ride. He chose Angel of Empire. And for people that don't understand how horse racing works, they don't get a flat fee for, riding the horse. These jockeys make their money based on what the horse does in a particular race. They get a percentage of what the horse earns. So the jockeys are going to try to get themselves on the best horse they feel that can win the race. So that's a big handicapping angle with Angel of Empire. That kind of just sealed the deal for me, is why I have him as my top choice. My second choice was an even bigger long shot that his odds are coming down now with all of the scratches, and that's number 17, Derma Soto Taki. This is the Japanese horse. Now, guys, I'm racing against history here because the Japanese horses in the Kentucky Derby are 0 for 18. They've never won. But this is the best Japanese horse that we have seen. The race he ran in Dubai that got him the automatic bid into the Kentucky Derby, he absolutely destroyed the field. And if you go back and watch that race and see what he did and just look at the jockey on the horse, he never moved his hands at all. This horse is very versatile. He can leave the gate and race from the front. He can set off the pace and close. That's very important whenever you're talking about a Kentucky Derby field like we have today, generally 20 horses down to 18 with the scratches. But I think he's got a big shot. He will be at or near the lead early, and I look for him to be a big factor in the race. My third choice in the race is the number 5 horse, Tappet Trice. This is the current second favorite right now. And as I said, there's only $100,000 separating the 2 horses, $2.2 and $2.1 million wagered on these 2 horses to win. Tappet Trice is a horse that The only problem with him and why I put him third is he's got post 5. Horses on the inside generally have a tendency that they can get stuck down on the rail. And if you've watched this horse's races through his career, and all these are 3-year-olds. Most of them have between 4 and 7 career lifetime starts. In every one of his races, they have tried to get him to the outside as quickly as possible. He doesn't like to be in tight quarters. Well, you're talking about an 18-horse field. It was 20. The problem with the inside horses is when everybody from the outside tries to leave to get position before they hit that first turn, a lot of times those inside horses get pinched down on the rail. And if he's not comfortable there, getting dirt kicked up in his face and stuff, that could be a factor. But if he gets a clean trip, this is a horse that will be flying in the stretch. You got to have him on your ticket. The fourth horse I went in this race, guys, was number 6, King's Barn. I mentioned him earlier. He's the horse that's undefeated, 3 for 3 career-wise. The 2 knocks on him is Flavian Pratt picked off of him, and he's racing against history. He did not race as a 2-year-old. There has only been 2 horses in the history of the Kentucky Derby that has won that didn't race at 2. And that was the horse Apollo, way back when, we're talking 100 years ago, and Justify. And we know what Justify did do. He went on and won the Triple Crown. But I have King's Barn is my 4th choice. And then my last horse I have here, this is my long shot horse that I got to put on my tickets with my exactas and trifectas. So if it comes on there and we hit it, we're going to get some big prices. And I know you guys like cashing those big price tickets. And that is number 8, Mage. And if you watch this horse in all of the shows that I did this week when we were still talking about Forte and him being the favorite, I said if you like Forte, you've got to like Mage. And the reason for that is if you go back and watch Forte's last race, his prep race for this Kentucky Derby that got him the qualifying points, that was the Florida Derby. He won that race. The horse he beat in that race did everything but win. He collared him right at the wire, and that horse was Mage. Mage is a very lightly raced horse, is still learning. I think the jockey made his move too early. He went 4 or 5 wide through the entire final turn, coming from behind, so he lost a lot of ground. He swooped. He went into the turn dead last, and at the top of the stretch, he was second. That's how big of a move this horse made. He collared the horse on the lead. They had a stretch battle for about 3/4 of the stretch drive, and then he got his head in front. And so often, horses that, when I use the term green, that means inexperienced. When there's no horses left in front of them, sometimes they ease up just a bit because they don't have a target to run at. And in his mind, he had the race won. Well, who come off of his back was Forte that nipped him right at the wire. So if Forte was the favorite in this race, and he was the morning line 3-1 favorite, and you're looking at Mage, who was 15-1 in the morning line, there was just so much value in Mage, you got to use them on the ticket. So, guys, that's how I'm constructing my plays today. I'm betting Angel of Empire across the board, win, place, and show, and then I'm keying exactas and trifectas with those 5 horses that I just gave you.
He's Marco D'Angelo. Follow him on Twitter at Marco in Vegas. The website is wagertalk.com. And we just tweeted out something, Marco, from Wager Talk. You and Kelly Stewart, prior to the race, you kind of gave a video where you broke down all, you earlier in your comments, you mentioned a 4-horse box. And somebody might be driving around listening to us right now. What the heck's a 4-horse box? Go to what we just tweeted out. There's a link in there, and it's, you and Kelly do a great job just breaking down all these terms so that people can go into an event like this and maybe increase their enjoyment by understanding what the terms mean. So again, wagertalk.com, or go to our Twitter page. We just tweeted this out. Marco, as we let you go, I think it's important for our listeners to know we love having you on because you do a great job with football. You were good with your time this spring. We had a great time talking basketball with you. But I think it's fair to say your passion is horse racing. This is more than just a job to you, breaking down horse racing. I've
owned race horses since 1986. It's been, this is what, my dad and I used to go to baseball games and to the racetrack. And that's where I found my love for horse racing. And I bought my first horse in 1986, and we've had horses ever since. We've had a very good week this week. We've had 4 horses race back in Pennsylvania to track them at. And we had 2 wins and a third out of 4 starts this week. So it's been a good week. I'd like to finish it off with cashing a big ticket in the Kentucky Derby.
There you go. But like I said, the passion is clear, and we're so glad you were able to come on and share it with us today. Hey, real quickly, speaking of passion, I know in your house there's also a passion for a certain hockey team up there in Las Vegas, and they got a game tomorrow. Or is that – no, it's tonight against the Oilers.
It's tonight.
Yeah.
I hope the wife's not listening because I have the other side today.
I was thinking that.
I have Edmonton today in the game. This is going to be a great series, but them moving this game back a day benefits Edmonton because the edge that the Knights have in this series is they are a deeper team. They can score on all 4 lines, where Edmonton, they're top heavy with, their production with the superstars, Connor McDavid, obviously all world, but they got to play their best lines more minutes per game because they're not as deep. Getting this game moved from yesterday benefits them. They'll be able to play them more minutes, and I think they even the series. I think this one goes 6 or 7.
You going to the game?
We're not going to I had to pick between Kentucky Derby and hockey, and horse racing, as you said, is a big passion.
Yeah, I figured as much. Hey, Marco, awesome stuff. Great information for our listeners, and thank you again so much for coming on and sharing with that today. And then please enjoy the races and good luck to your Golden Knights for sure.
I appreciate it. And as we say, let's cash some tickets.
Great stuff. Thank you, Marco. That's Marco
Thanks.
D'Angelo one more time. Follow him on Twitter at Marco in Vegas. And the website, Jackson, is wagertalk.com. We'll step aside, come back. Hey, we're going to look at all the action from here at the CAZ Sportsbook. Got the sheets from this morning. We got a lot of NBA to talk about. And as Marco just said, some NHL. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
Obviously, Aaron Rodgers knows how to handle himself in front of a microphone, but I gotta say, he was great. I thought his press conference was fantastic. He was charming. He interacted well with the media,
but not too much. He said the right amount.
Monday at speakers.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch, only at Twin Peaks, one sports bar.
Twin Peaks is exciting cocktails. The expertly balanced Sincoro Hall of Fame Margarita. Try it at your local lodge today.
The right price, the right selection. It's all now at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Stop by today and see why Wright Toyota continues to be Arizona's top Toyota dealership, located just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard and online at wrighttoyota.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Minute with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Golfers, swing into Van's Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1963. Let us help you find the hottest gear from bags, balls, shoes, and apparel. All in stock at the best prices. Come in and test drive the latest arrivals from Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, and more. While you're there, get custom fit by one of our golf experts. Van's Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, #SexyRoofStatus. All of our work using state-of-the-art materials and 5-star workmanship. Our inspections are free.
Did you guys
go to State 48?
Did you guys see that The park filed for bankruptcy.
Measure our success based on the amount of money we recover for our clients. And we're proud to say that we've collected billions of dollars for them. And no, it didn't take a gazillion years to do it. In the past 5 years alone, Lerner Rowe has recovered over $1 billion. Millions of dollars recovered every week. We're collecting more money for more people in Arizona than any other law firm. Get the money you deserve. Call Lerner Rowe today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado.
Do you know if they're only, I think last year during the summer they only did 2 hours a day.
Truck season going on now at your
I don't know if they're doing that
Chevy
again,
dealers, or
but
visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segments.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino Arizona.
Anyone else feel like they can't get enough of Netflix right now? Love is Blind, maybe Unstable. Well, for a limited time, Verizon customers can get 1 year of Netflix Premium on Verizon with the purchase of select subscriptions on Plus Play. Get subscriptions like Paramount Plus Premium, Calm, AMC Plus, and more. Plus Play is a new digital platform that makes it easy to shop and save on the subscriptions you love and manage them all in one place. Get 1 year of Netflix Premium on Verizon with the purchase of select subscriptions. Go to plusplay.com, only on Verizon.
Plus Play access included for Verizon postpaid mobile 5G home and LTE home subscribers. Exclusive savings available on select partner subscriptions. All products and services sold on Plus Play require a separate subscription or purchase. Additional terms apply. Purchase of new annual subscription to Paramount Plus, Call Premium, Peloton, Super Duolingo, Masterclass, AMC Plus, or Stars required. After 12 months Netflix promo period, service auto renews at $19.99 plus tax per month or then current rate. Limited time offer while supplies last. Additional terms apply.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Thanks again to Marco D'Angelo for joining us in our last segment, breaking it down as the Kentucky Derby comes up later on this afternoon. And don't forget, follow Marco on Twitter at Marco in Vegas, the website, JacksonWagerTalk.com. We're at the CAZ Sportsbook here at Casino, Arizona, taking up to 1 o'clock today. And postseason action continues in both the National Hockey League and the NBA. And I'm going to say something here that I don't know how this will be received. But locally, obviously, we're all centered on and looking at the Phoenix Suns and the run they're on and hoping for the best as they got a win last night to pull within 2-1 with the Denver Nuggets. And we'll get back into that series, Jackson, in hour number 2. But I think for me, dollar for dollar, top to bottom, beginning to end, however you want to break it down, I have been more fascinated by what's happening in the National Hockey League than what's going on in the National Basketball Association.
You've been on that for a while now.
Locally, great. The Sun story, love it. So I'm not. This is not meant to be any disparaging. But you just tune in, and the coverage is so good this year between TNT and ESPN. So good. And Marco mentioned it this evening, or actually this afternoon, our times, 4 p.m. In Las Vegas. You've got the Golden Knights in Edmonton. And look, a lot of people, a lot of experts, a lot of people that know the sport a heck of a lot better than I do, kind of had the Edmonton Oilers as the team out of the West, a team that has had a tremendous amount of success in recent past in the draft lottery. And Marco mentioned the top-heavy nature of that roster, and he's 100% right. They trail the Vegas Golden Knights 1-0 as they play Game 2 tonight in Las Vegas. And if you look at the odds from the CAZ Sportsbook here, they've got the Oilers minus 1.5 and the over/under total at 7. That's the other thing too. Lots of goals being scored.
I was going to ask you that. I'm not a big hockey guy myself, but I'll look at the box scores every so often. It seems like these playoffs, it's been super high scoring. I mean, the over/under 6.5 goals. That's crazy. Is that a lack of goaltending talent, or is it just the more talent offensively now in the NHL?
I think it's a combination of things. And I think first and foremost, it's the talent in the National Hockey League. I mean, you look at the skill set, particularly these top teams, and then as Marco said, the top lines on the top teams. You're going to see that. Like last night, for example, you had 6-1. You had Carolina beat New Jersey, and I think that one went out at 6.5 as the over/under. So I think it's absolutely talent. You look at this Toronto Maple Leaf team, a team I was going to mention here. They play tomorrow against the Panthers. They leave Toronto down 0-2. And you talk about the Eastern Conference, where the number 1 seed and arguably the best team in a long time in the regular season anyways, the Boston Bruins, 135 points, the President's Trophy winners. They are eliminated by an 8 seed, the Florida Panthers, and now the Florida Panthers continue that run, and they went into Toronto and won 2 games. Anyways, point being, up and down the board, I think there's, I don't want to call it parity, there's just good players. And, teams getting healthy at the right time. So keep an eye on the NHL playoffs, and then we've got NBA action. You've got the Heat and the Knicks. The Heat are a 4-point favorite as that game tips off here in just a little bit from Miami. And you've got the Lakers and the Warriors later on, 5:30 our time. The Lakers at home, 3-point favorites, and the over/under of that one kind of high at 228. These sheets I picked up a little bit ago from the CAZ Sportsbook here at Casino Arizona. He's Jackson Groff. I'm Mike Gross. Richie's back in studio. Action-packed first hour, Jackson, but we're just getting started. On the other side, we'll talk some NFL. We'll dive into the NBA playoffs a little bit further, and then we'll make our picks to wrap up the show. That's all coming up. Hour number 2 of the show, live from the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino Arizona, and right here on Fox Sports 910.
Hey, can you guys do me a favor?
Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
Rock for RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
Hey, babe, what you got there?
This is a check from Carvana. I just sold my car to them. I went online and Carvana gave me an offer right away. Then they just picked up the car and gave me this.
Well, that's a big check. Well, obviously you could put this towards your next car, or we could finally get that jacuzzi, or I could start taking tuba lessons, or I could quit my job and write my memoir.
Or I can put it towards my next car with Carvana.
Sorry, your check, not mine.
Sell your car to Carvana. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get a real offer in seconds.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet.
Hey, you guys there?
Easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd, Monday from 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station. Two pros and a cup of Joe.
We do a radio show
Weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific. Stop it, dude. On Fox Sports Radio. The most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken. Wow. You can see him on the Herd, weekdays at noon Eastern on FS1 in the Fox Sports app. And here's what you need to know.
NBA playoff action set to tip in the next half an hour or so. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Knicks and Heat. Shams Charania tweeting that Jimmy Butler has been cleared for this game, so that'll certainly have an effect on how this game is played. For what it's worth, Miami is favored by 4 as of this moment. Again, about 30 minutes from tip-off. Coming up at 8:30 Eastern will be the Warriors and Lakers. That series tied at 1 game apiece. Game 3 at Crypto.com Arena. In Major League Baseball, 2 games in action right now. Cardinals with a 3-0 lead over the Tigers. That game in the top of the third. There's 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning, Marlins lead the Cubs 1-0. Cubs at the bat with 2 out. Houston right-hander Luis Garcia needing Tommy John surgery and will miss the rest of the season. He was placed on the injured list after leaving Monday's start against the Giants with elbow discomfort after throwing only 8 pitches. I'm Kevin Wyatt.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
What a weekend underway. We'll top off the Saturday portion at about 84 sunny degrees. Overnight, 61.
It's the Rams' next quarterback right there.
Sunday, just as nice.
Drake May.
Not much.
Rams' next quarterback.
7. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Corey McCloskey.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
Dude, I was so mad when the Rams took Stetson.
There's Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Dude, they have no depth. It's going to be a lot of rookies.
Time for Arizona's own.
Take the under on their win total, whatever it may be.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, to the points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Hour number 2. Jackson Croft, Mike Gross at the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona, Loop 101, and McKellips. Come on out and see us. We're here to 1 o'clock. Sportsbook is open, and the window's there, and the 24-hour self-service kiosk inside the Sportsbook, and just adjacent on the outside wall for all your wagering needs and pleasure. CAZ Sportsbook, Loop 101 and McKellips, right here inside Casino, Arizona. Coming up in just a few minutes, we hope to catch up with Mark Knutson from Denver. We'll talk about the Nuggets and the Suns. Game 3 goes to the Phoenix Suns last night. Game 4 tomorrow from the Footprint Center in downtown Phoenix. But, Jackson, before we get to that, the NFL draft is concluded, and not a lot of movement when you look at the numbers from an over-under standpoint on the win totals for NFL teams based on activity in the draft. And that really stands to reason. When you're bringing in young guys that have to learn a system and come in, you're not expecting big shifts one way or another. Handful of teams went up. We talked about Bijan Robinson, a kid from South Point High School in Tucson, great career with the Texas Longhorns. He bumped his selection helped bump the Atlanta Falcons from 7.5 wins to 8 wins,
which is so high to me for some reason. I mean, I don't know if it's because they added a lot on defense or their division is so bad. But 8 wins, I don't know if I see this Atlanta Falcons team winning 8 games. Do you?
I don't see it.
They just have so many holes offensively. I don't think they're going to be able to score, and their D-line needs some help, too.
So you talk about the NFC South. I think that might factor into it when, again, a half a game movement, it doesn't take a lot when the field is the way it is there. Another team that went up, your Detroit Lions, they went from 9 to 9.5. A move that, again, I don't understand, except for that you factor in the NFC North with Aaron Rodgers out. But I think Detroit definitely reached. I mean, I like the players individually. I don't like where they were selected by the Detroit Lions.
There was rumors that even at 6, they were contemplating to pick up Jahmyr Gibbs at 6. And there was also rumors that a lot of teams were big fans of Gibbs and willing to trade up. So that kind of tells you that, the scouts like Jeremiah Kuiper and McShay, even though they might have had him off their board in a second-round pick, a lot of people value the talent. And I think he's a very talented running back. He can do it all there with the Lions. But a thing that's interesting about the Lions is they're going to have 2 different running backs this year. Coming back from last year when they had Jamal Williams and they had DeAndre Swift. Both guys had 1,000 yards. Williams had the touchdown record that he beat from Barry Sanders, and he's gone. He's with the Saints, and now they're going to have 2 running backs for Detroit next year. I like Detroit. I think they're a good team.
I do too.
I would take the over.
And I like the landscape of the NFC North relative to what they're trying to do. You look at them on the way up. You've got real questions on the Chicago Bears, who, in case you forgot, they actually owned the number 1 pick in this year's NFL draft at one time before they traded away. You've got the change of the guard with the Green Bay Packers. And then, the Minnesota Vikings, a team that seems to put up nice numbers in the regular season, but with their quarterback situation, can't seem to figure out how to get it done in the postseason. Jackson, as we look at the win totals here in the NFC West post-NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers stayed at 11.5, and they are the favorites, to nobody's surprise, in the NFC West.
That's shock. Okay, the NFC West, I'm not surprised, but the fact that they are the highest win total in the NFC, Eagles are 10.5, and then on the other side, it's the Chiefs and the Bengals both at 11.5. But the 49ers at 11.5 with questionable who's going to be that starting quarterback week 1 with either Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Trey Lance. It's interesting to me. I'm puzzled by what they know that we don't know.
Well, I think it goes back to a couple things in my mind. You take the quarterback question out of this for a minute. It's a real question, and you're going to have to deal with it if you're the 49ers. But that roster, top to bottom, might be the best roster in all of football. I think, but a huge question, as you said, at quarterback. And then the other thing that you have to factor in, honestly, is the rest of the NFC West. If you can bank on 6 wins out of the NFC West, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility for the 49ers, you look at the Seahawks in terms of win totals and what Las Vegas thinks of the rest of this division. You go from 11.5 with the 49ers to 8.5 for the Seattle Seahawks. The Los Angeles Rams, who our good friend Richie back in the studio is a huge fan of, and his thing is, hey, there's talent on this roster, but it is a thin roster. They're going to be counting on a lot of young players, a lot of rookies, and they're at 7.5. And then, of course, the team here, and you and I were talking about this coming back from break, the Arizona Cardinals, they did not move after the draft, even though everybody agrees that they had a good draft building for the future, even particularly after the 2024 draft. They are at 5.5, and we both think that 5.5 wins, the way this roster is constructed, what we're looking at, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that has to do, if you're looking at the 49ers number, which you questioned, and I kind of agree with, but it does make sense. It does make sense when you think about where they stack relative to these other 3 teams.
The Texans and the Cardinals are the lowest win totals at 5.5. And if you're a Cardinals fan, I think you hope, I understand you don't want to see a bad season, but if you can have one more tank season, Cardinals and the Houston Texans, as we saw that draft, the trade from this year's draft with the Texans benefits the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. They can have a 1 and a 2, whether they want to draft Caleb Williams, which is it's something that's wild to say, but it could happen. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., or you trade that number 1 pick that's coveted. People want to get Caleb Williams, and you get a ton of assets, a ton of draft capital, maybe even a couple, defensive linemen from some teams or a big superstar to come in.
Yep.
It could be good for this franchise moving forward. That 1 year, that 1 more year of taking could revolutionize the program because we're starting to see the culture change here in Arizona.
Go back to your point on the Houston Texans as well. And I know a lot of fans still to this day are disappointed that the Cardinals did not select Will Anderson Jr. Stay at 3 and take him. And I said it. Like, he's a generational talent. I still believe that.
But
look at the numbers for the Houston Texans. Before the draft, they were 5.5 was their win total. After the draft, after taking a quarterback and Will Anderson, the player in question, they're 5.5. As good and as dominant that Will Anderson, I believe, is going to be, it wasn't enough to move the needle for the Houston Texans. So take Will Anderson and put him on the Arizona Cardinals. Same thing. And I think it's actually a worse scenario because you don't get that pick out of the Texans where what you just described, sitting where you have 2 picks that will likely be very, very high picks in the 2024 NFL draft as you build to the future. Will Anderson is a generational talent, and if you put him on the Arizona Cardinals, he doesn't change the outcome of the games very much.
And now if you're Will Anderson, they traded a first-round pick, a top 5 pick for you, which is crazy. Now that you think about it, an edge rusher, he's going to have to perform at a Hall of Fame level for the Texans for that trade, for them to win that trade, you could say. And then for the Cardinals standpoint, I love the draft they did. A+. A lot of draft experts, a lot of websites have them being an A+, A-. And folks, when Steve Keim was here as GM, it seemed like they were a C or a C- or maybe even a B- when he was the GM. BJ Ojolari, you got an edge rusher, you got a couple corners, a wide receiver, Michael Wilson, which people said was the steal of the draft. I don't like how they picked a quarterback in the 5th round that early, but I mean, they got a linebacker in Owen Papo, who's the fastest linebacker in the draft. They got a couple corners, couple depth. Yes, they got a lot of holes to fill, but we've seen the Seahawks rookies last year when they played a lot of their rookies. We've seen the Chiefs play a lot of their rookies and start to excel throughout the year. And now in year 2 for the Chiefs, they've got 10 rookies they played last year that are going to start and fill those roles. And plus, it saves you money later down the road if you want to sign some of those big free agents.
Win total for the Arizona Cardinals, in case you missed it, we just mentioned it, 5.5, according to the numbers going into the season. And 2 large questions now loom for the Cardinals as they prepare for the upcoming season. Number one, and you did a great job. You were on it right when the video came out on TikTok or Instagram, whichever one it was. DeAndre Hopkins basically saying, trade.
No, I didn't want to leave.
I never asked to leave.
Yeah.
Whatever the story behind that is he still here long term, or do the Cardinals wait until there's somebody on the top of that win total list that suffers a wide receiver injury in training camp and then make a deal to bolster your numbers in the upcoming draft even further? Or look, whatever else you think about DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray, he is his security blanket. And if you want to see him be as productive as possible, maybe you just suck it up and keep him around. But obviously there was interest in moving him wherever it came from. The number was too high in terms of the return that the Cardinals were asking for. And look, the contract that Hopkins negotiated with Steve Keim is prohibitive. I mean, you're talking about a big number for a team to absorb. If you're talking about the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, teams like that. So he's here for the foreseeable future. And then more important is the Budda Baker question.
Yeah,
we talked a little bit about it. Whatever happens with DeAndre Hopkins, either way, I'm fine. I'm not fine until I hear from Budda Baker that he's happy. And I don't usually give the athlete the benefit of the doubt in these situations. I do in Budda Baker's case. Budda Baker needs to be happy. So now that you're post-draft, sit down, figure it out, make Budda happy.
Larry Fitzgerald was that guy that kind of Budda Baker has turned himself into for this Arizona Cardinals franchise. He's the founding stone. He's the foundation. He's the leader. When Fitz left, when Fitz and Budda were teammates for a while, he kind of passed the torch over to Budda Baker. You got to make him happy. And then for DeAndre Hopkins, I'm a fan. I've been saying it for a while that we want him back here because if he's gone, it's another hole to fill. He's talented. Just hope and pray that he can last a whole season. No suspension, no injuries for him. And he can also mentor a guy like Michael Wilson, who kind of plays like DeAndre Hopkins and other receivers as well. I think D-Hop stays for this year and next year. Personally, I think the relationship between Ossenfort and Gannon and him will restore. I think most of those trade rumors kind of went through Michael Bidwell because those rumors came before he even hired Ossenfort and Gannon, and they were in a kind of an uncomfortable situation there. But I wanted to throw it to you too, Gross, before we take a break here. Isaiah Simmons, no 5th-year extension. Your thoughts on that?
I think it's warranted. And it's not all Isaiah Simmons' fault. I think, again, like a lot of things under the previous regime, here's a guy that is uber talented. You look at some of the individual, if you put together a highlight film of some of the individual plays that he made.
Yeah, he's had a ton of interceptions. Yeah.
Remarkable for a guy his size and whatever his position is. But the body of work beginning to end, to my way of thinking, didn't justify the extent or the option. But that doesn't mean that his time is over. This is now he's playing for his next contract, whether it's with the Cardinals or somebody else. So let's see what he does. Like I said, he's uber talented. What's he going to do in this new system? Will they find a position and let him stick in that position and play in that position and focus in that position and earn that next contract?
Yeah,
I think it's as simple as that. But I do not think he earned the option. But at the same time, as I said, I don't think that's an indictment on him necessarily. I think it's more on the last regime, how they used him.
Vance Joseph, Cliff Kingsbury are definitely at fault for that. I want to see this. I want to see how this new NFL staff, this new staff with NFL experience, more experience than Cliff Kingsbury, transforms Kyler Murray and transforms Isaiah Simmons. I think those two are going to be impacted the most, and we'll see them flourish in this new system.
You talk about Caleb Williams as the perhaps the.
I love Kyler Murray, but man, I mean, he is an intriguing prospect. Some say he's the second coming of Patrick Mahomes.
Who's working with him in Los Angeles right now?
Cliff Kingsbury.
There you go. We'll step aside here. On the other side, we'll I don't know. We'll get into the Suns one way or another. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points.
Hey, can you guys reset the Comrex, please?
CAZ Sports Bar and Casino Area.
Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook.
Hopefully we'll find out.
Shopping.
It sounded good in the last break too, and when you guys came back on, I was getting a lot of red.
Local team of mortgage
Not a good
experts for
thing.
great rates and lower fees.
So we'll see.
And faster closings. Don't let your dream home purchase turn into a nightmare. Call the professionals at GC Global Capital, 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital, your local mortgage professionals.
GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker. NMLS 1091187. License MB 0924983. An equal opportunity lender.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
Golfers, swing into Van's Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1963. Let us help you find the hottest gear from bags, balls, shoes, and apparel. All in stock at the best prices. Come in and test drive the latest arrivals from Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, and more. While you're there, get custom fit by one of our golf experts. Van's Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
Join Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy D Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup. So check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segments.
It's the wind down in sparkling water.
No, I think might see it tonight, if not sometime next week.
You crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's summer playcation package, starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
That was a great dinner.
So great. Wait, where'd you park the car?
Oh, the one I just sold to Carvana.
What? When did you do that?
When you were still looking at the menu. I went on Carvana.com and all I had to do was enter the license plate or VIN, answer a few questions, and got a real offer in seconds.
They picked up the car already?
No, I parked around the corner. But they are picking it up tomorrow and paying me right on the spot.
Oh, no wonder you picked up the
You see the Ant-Man movie too, Jax?
Sell your car to Carvana. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get a real offer in seconds.
only iHeartRadio.
No, I'm behind. I haven't seen the new one yet. Most recent one.
Glory. It's the Woody Show. It's Elliot in the morning.
All of the once-in-a-lifetime events.
iHeartRadio Music Festival.
All of the best free curated playlists. It's everything that rocks. All of the great podcasts for every interest.
This is Freddie Prinze Jr. from the Wrestling with Freddie podcast.
All of the mind-blowing contests.
$20,000.
Awesome.
All of your favorite superstars.
This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
Best of all, it doesn't cost a thing. Download the absolutely free iHeartRadio app now.
Back to Take the Points. Powered by Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
This is they don't have the lyrics on this one. Richie wants to keep his job, apparently. Welcome back. Jackson Croft, Mike Gross, taking up to 1 o'clock today. Before we jump into the Suns, movie review time. I used to do, not this show, this show, as we've discussed previously, this show is about 20 years old. It's taken on different iterations on different stations, all the way back to Rock and Wolf Game Day, way back when, man, I don't even know how many years ago, 20-some years ago. One of the staples of this show, when I was doing it with Sean Crespin and Kevin McCabe through the years, movie reviews.
Really?
Where Sean Crespin will tell you, we used to have a great sponsorship with a local supermarket. And so we'd go in and set up to do the show at a supermarket. And, they usually put us in the service desk area, and what do they have around the service desk? A lot of the like the lotto machines and all that, the coin thing, but also some of the bins. And they used to, they still do in some stores, the DVDs that were for sale. Like you could get those. And so we were setting up one day and I knocked the entire thing over. Like there was CDs everywhere. And Sean was beside himself mad at me. But anyways, we got it cleaned up, got ready to do the show. But we picked up 3 random CDs and we reviewed them on the show. We gave them a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, wow.
So we did movie reviews and it became a good part of the show. But you were saying, and we'll do this because we have editorial liberty on this show, the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie you saw the other night, and we won't go deep into it because a lot of people haven't seen it.
Oh, and I'm not going to spoil it for all our
No
listeners.
spoiler alerts, but how good was it?
Really good. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I went and saw it at 9:30 p.m. on Thursday. That's how dedicated and how much I've been wanting to see it. It's been a couple years since the last one. If you remember, Volume 2 came out before Marvel Endgame, and this is kind of like following Endgame. Really good. I don't want to – I'm going to be bold and say it. Hot take. I think it's a top 5 Marvel movie of all time.
Wow.
That's how good this movie was. And it's crazy how Marvel, when it comes to certain movies, usually, like the Disney type of movies or the other movies, when it comes out with the sequel, it's not good. Usually you're like, I wish they wouldn't have came out with the second or third. I wish they would have just came with the first one. It gets better and better as the Guardians have moved on. Guardians 3, if you're a big Marvel fan, or if you're a kind of a Marvel guy, or you love the CGI or the sci-fi movies, superhero movies, this is a must-see. I'm telling you, you got to go see it, Gross. Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
2 questions so as not to
spoil.
Provide any spoiler alerts. Did you stay to the end? Do they have anything in the credits?
Yes.
So again,
both credits. Because you can realize one thing that you'll realize too about people that say they're big Marvel fans or people that want to go see Marvel movies is you can tell if they're a diehard Marvel fan when the movie ends.
Okay.
Will they get up and leave when the credits
100%.
happen? For those out there that know Marvel movies, you stay through not the first credits, the second credits, because there's 2 little spoilers that kind of lead you on to the next movies going forward.
And second question for you, and again, no spoiler alerts, but one of the things Guardian movies are known for are tremendous soundtracks. Was this one a good soundtrack?
It's a great soundtrack. And for those that are older, probably the ages of 50 plus, you'll get some throwback songs in there for you, some older songs.
You were nicer this time than you were during the break when you brought that one up.
I am Groot.
Is it groovy?
Oh, it's groovy. Yeah, it's definitely groovy. I don't want to spoil any of it, but it's really good.
All right.
All I got to say is, for those out there that are like, what do I have to remember from the last movie or whatever? Just remember how Endgame ended, and it'll kind of prepare you for this movie. That's all I'm going to say.
There it is. With that alone, I was thinking about going to see it tonight. With that alone, I am going to see it tonight. And then you and I will compare notes next time I see you. He's Jackson Groff. Those are our movie reviews brought to you by Jackson Groff. All right, Phoenix Suns tomorrow. They play the
Game
Denver
4.
Nuggets. Game 4. First and foremost, numbers. Yesterday's game opened up at 4.5, and obviously the Suns covered that, and it did go over. It went over the over, didn't it?
Yeah, it went over.
Yeah, because they brought the over way down.
It was
from game 2.
It was at 227, I believe, and the total was 235.
Yeah. What's the number looking like for tomorrow's game? Nuggets and the Suns from the Footprint Center.
So Suns are favored by 2.5 points. The over/under is at 227.5, and on various sporting books, the player props have came out, and I love to throw these at you, Gross, because I love to see your predictions, even though we haven't kept track of which ones you've been right or wrong. You could have won a lot of money. Who knows?
I probably did.
You probably did. So right now, the odds for player props: Nikola Jokic over/under 27.5 points.
Over.
Jamal Murray over/under 24.5 points.
Under.
Really? Okay. Hey, if that happens and the Suns can capitalize, that'd be a big game 4. Devin Booker over/under 31.5.
Oh man! Sooner or later, it's got to break, doesn't it?
No. I don't think so. He's on fire right now.
All right, over.
Kevin Durant over/under 29.5.
Ooh, under.
DeAndre Ayton, your boy, over/under 13.5.
13. Are you serious? 13.5.
Yes.
I want to say over. But I'm not taking good hard-earned cash and putting it on over on anything DeAndre Ayton related. So under.
So you can also bet to score 40-plus points. Devin Booker is at plus 440. Kevin Durant plus 650 there. Let's go to the rebounds
real quick. Just to reset. Devin Booker scored 47 last night. Kevin Durant scored 39. DeAndre Ayton scored 4. And Nikola Jokic scored 30.
Maybe they think he'll bounce back. But look at this. Player rebounds over/under. Jokic 14.5. And DeAndre Ayton at 9.5. 14.5 for an over/under for rebounds is absolutely ridiculous. That's crazy.
At 17 last night.
His assist is at 8.5.
That was the one I wanted you to give for their big guy.
Nikola Jokic he's plus 102 for over 8.5.
Look, I'm happy the Suns won. I am in awe of what Devin Booker and Kevin Durant did, despite no support from anybody else on that team. But I can still be impressed as hell at the way Jokic passes the basketball for a big guy.
So
he's an absolute freak.
He's got more assists. He's at 8.5, the over/under total for player assists. He's more than Jamal Murray, who's 6.5, and he's tied with Devin Booker, who's at 8.5. Those two guys are guards. He's a center, 8.5.
He's 6'11", it says 285. He's 6'11". He's pushing 3 bills. He looks like he's playing in a beer league. And he's a freak. He is an absolute freak. And it's the classic case. You can't. What's the old saying? You can't contain. You only hope to slow him down. Whatever that saying is. He's a freak. And that's what makes what we're dealing with a little bit more frustrating. Look, if we're going to get out of here with a win in Game 4, you need to have both Devin Booker and Kevin Durant well over those point totals, because I don't see where the help's coming from. You hope it's coming. You hope that yesterday was just.
You saw some flashes from T.J. Warren and Terrence Ross at some points too, but I also want to talk about the betting odds to win the series right now for the Suns Nuggets. Suns at plus 245, Nuggets at minus 300, and then the NBA Finals odds currently. Nuggets plus 400 to win it all. Suns plus 1,000.
He's Jackson Groff. I'm Mike Gross. We'll step aside here. More on the other side right here on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, This place was made to entertain. We're your casino, Arizona.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup, so check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segments.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
I often get asked, how can Lerner & Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal cases when you guys are a personal injury law firm? The answer is simple. We're good at it. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a separate law firm from Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys, and we have some of the most experienced criminal defense attorneys available, including one of only a few certified criminal attorneys in Arizona who have handled thousands of criminal and DUI cases. And we offer affordable payment plans. Getting the defense you need is one phone call away.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That Guys, live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Anyone else feel like they can't get enough of Netflix right now? Love is Blind, maybe unstable. Well, for a limited time, Verizon customers can get 1 year of Netflix Premium on Verizon with the purchase of select subscriptions on Plus Play. Get subscriptions like Paramount Plus Premium, Calm, AMC Plus, and more. Plus Play is a new digital platform that makes it easy to shop and save on the subscriptions you love and manage them all in one place. Get 1 year of Netflix Premium on Verizon with the purchase of select subscriptions. Go to plusplay.com, only on Verizon.
Plus Play access included for Verizon postpaid mobile 5G home and LTE home subscribers. Exclusive savings available on select partner subscriptions. All products and services sold on Plus Play require a separate subscription or purchase. Additional terms apply. Purchase of new annual subscription to Paramount Plus, Calm Premium, Peloton, Super Duolingo, Masterclass, AMC Plus, or Stars required. After 12 months Netflix promo period, service auto renews at $19.99 plus tax per month or then current rate. Limited time offer while supplies last. Additional terms apply.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Welcome back. Mike Gross, Jackson Groff, taking up to 1 o'clock today, and talked about the Suns-Nuggets game 4 tomorrow afternoon, downtown Phoenix. A couple of games going on today, Jackson, and just underway from South Florida. We talked about upstart teams in the National Hockey League. How about the Miami Heat? Whew. They dispatched the Milwaukee Bucks, got the coach for Milwaukee fired, and then they move on to the New York Knicks. And that series leaving Madison Square Garden tied 1-1 as they get ready to play today. Just underway now from South Florida. The Heat come off at a 4-point favorite. Point total remarkably high for the Eastern Conference at 209.
I mean, it's all thanks to Jimmy Butler. I mean, his first round was absolutely unbelievable. Put the team on your back there. And, yeah, even to get the coach fired. Budenholzer, which I am not a fan of. I don't know why you would get rid of a coach 2 years. I understand you're the 1 seed. I understand you got the best record in the East, and you lost an upset to the Heat. I understand some of his coaching errors when Butler had the last shot with 0.8 seconds left. They had a timeout. If he uses the timeout, you can advance the ball, maybe get a shot there. Or with the whole Grayson Allen not getting the shot off in time, they did have 2 timeouts. I understand that, but those are life lessons you move on later on. And when he's a coach that he's the number 1 coach for other NBA teams, he's probably going to go. I said it on Thursday. I think he's going to go to Toronto. I think Toronto's going to take care of him early. They've had the coach of the year with Nick Nurse and I believe it's Dwayne Casey. I could see him going to the Raptors, but I don't like this move for the Bucks unless you have your mind set on someone else. I don't know what they're doing there.
No, I don't either. And when that news broke, it was pretty shocking. It was, as you said, 2 years removed from winning a title, and you pull the plug. I get it. And I don't think the Pistons' job is filled yet either. Keep an eye on the Pistons because here's a team, particularly if they win the NBA draft lottery, this is a job that becomes incredibly attractive if you're out there and available. And I know some other names have been mentioned, but now that Budenholzer is on the market, I think he changes the conversation with a lot of these openings.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's look at the Miami Heat Knicks opening lines right now. Like you mentioned, it's 3.5 now, gross. It went down half a point.
Okay.
The Heat is favored. The money line for the Knicks is at plus 136, and it looks like everyone's going to be playing today. The game starts here, I believe. It actually might have just tipped off here shortly, but when you look at it, Knicks won game 2. Heat without Jimmy Butler. They only won by 6. Julius Randle played. What do you like in this matchup here, Gross? What are you kind of looking at between the Miami Heat and the Knicks currently?
A couple of things that when I think of this series and the matchup, is there? We talk about Budenholzer getting blown out after 2 years after winning a championship. Is there a more underappreciated coach in the National Basketball Association than Eric Spoelstra? When he was hired to replace Pat Riley, he took so much grief. The only reason you got that job is because you were there. Right? It's just he's been there. You take Steve Kerr out, take what's his name in San Antonio out, Popovich out. This guy's been there so long, and yeah, Jimmy Butler, I get it, but he is a calming presence, and he's a good basketball coach.
He really is.
Really good basketball coach. You mentioned the coaching gaffes that the Bucks made. Well, somebody's got to take advantage of them for the count. And the Heat did that in Eric Spoelstra. I think he's underrated. Underrated coach. But then Jimmy Butler, his health, he's ready to go today. So, those are the 2 things I look at when I think of this on the Heat side. And on the other side, I think the Knicks are ahead of schedule. They had a really nice offseason last year, but it was more subtle. It wasn't like any of those blockbuster type moves. I know Kevin Durant was in the mix at some point. Like, is that a landing place for him? But the Knicks just kind of did it a little bit on the down low. But here's a team that it was a good series between them and the Cavaliers. And Scott Perry, the general manager of the Knicks, quietly putting together a nice roster. But I think here's a team, even though they advanced out of the first round, they're at least a year ahead of schedule, where if you're an honest Knicks fan, you're happy, but you say, this is a year early for my New York Knicks.
And I think it's all thanks to Jalen Brunson. I mean, he's got to be one of the most underrated point guards in the league right now, and that fit with the Knicks and him playing with Randall and guys like Josh Hart and RJ Barrett. Brunson's averaging 25 points right now, and if you can go on your sports betting apps there, folks, his current odds for player props today for the good old Jalen Brunson, if I could pull it up here. This is delayed real quick. 24.5 for Jalen Brunson, 23.5 for Julius Randle. On the other side, Jimmy Butler, 26.5 points for the over-under. I like the Miami Heat in this one. I think they're just more dominant at home. You got Jimmy Butler back, and the fact that, like you said, Eric Spoelstra is such a great coach, only lost by 6 without your best player. You got guys like Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Adebayo, Strus, and Duncan Robinson coming off even Kevin Love. How about Kevin Love in this Miami Heat team? Coming in there, he's had a great playoffs, and they're without Oladipo as well.
And going back to your point, which I completely agree with on Jalen Brunson, they're the flip side of that equation. And what's a team that disappointed and never didn't qualify for this year's postseason was his previous team. And look at the changes that the Mavericks made.
Yeah.
And they're getting called now to the carpet for some of the decisions, allowing guys to leave and the trade they made in the offseason. And then Jalen Brunson, of course, landing with the Knicks and being a difference maker there. How that might be different if the Mavericks would have played their cards differently.
The other game tonight, the game of the night, probably the series of them all. The Warriors-Lakers tips off at 5:30 on ABC. The series is tied 1-1. Steph Curry, LeBron James could be the final time they face off in the playoffs. Lakers are favored by 3.5 points. The over/under total at 228.5. And gross. I don't know. I don't know what this series is going to go. I think this might be another 7-game series. I mean, we've seen the Lakers in game 1 dominate the Warriors. The Warriors come back and shoot, I believe it was 60% from 3. And they shot, I believe it was 45 3-pointers. Like, that's absolutely unbelievable. But can that be more consistent? Can you see 3-point shooting like that? They were 21 of 42. Is that liable? And can it sustain for the Warriors to win in this series?
If anybody can, it's the Warriors.
Exactly.
But, and I'll just leave it at that. Like, to expect that to be the case, I don't know. But you don't want to live and die that way, although they've been doing all right with it. The other question that you look at, it's not specific, Jackson, necessarily to this series, but when you look at it, and what the NBA doesn't do is reseed after the opening round. You've got the number 7 Lakers, the number 6 Warriors playing, and on the top side there, you've got 1 and 4 Nuggets and the Suns. Arguably, you could make a case, and definitely in the Eastern Conference, we got 1 and 2 playing right now. The talking heads on ESPN saying this is the de facto Eastern Conference championship between the Sixers and the Celtics. Would you like to see them reseed so that you spread this out? Would you rather see the Celtics and the Sixers as your Eastern Conference final? Or, hey, you play the regular season for a reason. Let's see what happens. It's okay if you get a 7-6 matchup like you got the one you were just talking about with the Warriors and the Lakers.
I see where you're at. So it would be Celtics, Heat, Knicks, Sixers. Yeah. I agree. I would love to see that because, I mean, yes, the Sixers lost last night against the Celtics, but that's got to be the series right now. And then for the West, I think it's pretty even when it comes to Nuggets, Suns, Warriors, Lakers. Now that I think about it, how would the reseeding work? They would be Lakers, Nuggets, Warriors, Suns.
That's what you would have if you reseeded.
Both great series still. I like how it is on the Western Conference, but the Eastern Conference, I would love to see a reseeding there.
The other thing that's interesting for me when you think about that, and I don't know that I disagree with it. You can see, though, when you've got 1 and 2, and the way the Eastern Conference regular season went, 1-2 were so dominant, right? And there was a big fall off after that. I don't know that you can make the same case. Nobody's saying that the Suns Nuggets is the de facto Western Conference championship, because you look at particularly the Warriors. I think a lot of people discounted the Lakers, but particularly the Warriors. Like even people, if you drive around, listen to sports talk radio in this town, people didn't want any part of the Warriors if you're the Phoenix Suns, and I think that's still the case for whoever gets out of this series, the Nuggets or the Suns. So I think there's a little more parity, a little more even matchups in the Western Conference.
So what are the player props looking like for the Warriors and Lakers right now? And quick note, Lakers, Anthony Davis, I think he's got to be the guy. His offense runs through Anthony Davis, and LeBron kind of feeds off of him. 11 points last game, and the sports books right now over/under points for him have him at 25.5. They got LeBron James at 26.5, and on the other side for the Warriors, Klay Thompson 22.5, Steph Curry 30.5. And how about this? You want to talk about Splash Brothers? Have you ever seen two players over/under total for 3-pointers made at 4.5 for Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry? 4.5 3-pointers is absolutely ridiculous. That is crazy.
Take them both. And going back to the Lakers, Anthony Davis is. I know we're critical of DeAndre Ayton, and I think rightfully so here in Phoenix. And it's not. I'm not comparing the two players necessarily. If you're a Lakers fan, how frustrating is it watching this guy? You look at him, so much talent, and for whatever reason, can't seem to keep himself on the court, and you're holding your breath the entire time because you're right. You got to have him if you're the Lakers, but you know what his history is.
Yeah. Emmanuel Acho made a good point. He said it's something about when it's 6'11", 7 foot flex forwards like, Kevin Durant, Giannis, AD. We've seen these guys get injured at periodic time because they're so tall and they're asked so much. They've got to run a ton. He compared it to like a Bentley car. It's the prettiest, it's the fastest, but it doesn't go the furthest when it comes to gas. So you always got to stop for gas when it comes to a Bentley. Whereas a Toyota, it can go back. It lasts longer, but it's not as attractive, maybe not as skilled, but it's a little shorter than I guess a Bentley car would be in Anthony Davis.
It'll show up every night.
Exactly. I thought it was a good comparison.
And that's good. And look, it's not our problem to solve, obviously. But again, you hear a lot of talk. Magic Johnson came out and had some things to say about, what he would do if he had AD's ear in terms of getting himself ready and how he would spend his off season, getting stronger in certain ways so that he had that durability more like a Toyota and less like a Bentley from that standpoint. Thank you, Emmanuel Acho. I like that.
I know. I think I said it correctly. Hopefully I didn't butcher it there, but I thought it was a good. Emmanuel Acho every so often will throw those analogies, and he'll also throw those out-of-pocket takes every so often. It's not in between. It's either one or the other.
Jackson Groff, Mike Gross. We're going to step aside one more time. On the other side, we'll make our picks.
Let's go.
And wrap up today's show. That's coming up on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B.
Joining us, one of the top Cardinal receivers ever to play, Frank Sanders, who joins us down the right to the guest side.
It's not a team that we're going to say is ready just to take over the division or win immediately. But the idea is that you're building in the right direction. And I think we got some pieces that it looks like we're going in the right direction.
Monday afternoon at 1 on Fox Sports 910 and your free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup. So check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. Or visit
Bobby Mack used to be on the Freaks all the time. He was great.
SMG Global Mobility 2020.
Yeah, because he would always joke around with us all the time too. Like half the time we went to talk football with him. We just bullshit basically.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guy.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Join Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Golfers, swing into Van's Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1963. Let us help you find the hottest gear from bags, balls, shoes, and apparel, all in stock at the best prices. Come in and test drive the latest arrivals from Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, and more. While you're there, get custom fit by one of our golf experts. Van's Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on
It's in LA, right?
roof status at State 48 Roofing. We are family owned and operated, born and raised.
Dude, road teams have been pretty good in both
Contact us.
the NBA and NHL this year, so I'd go with the Warriors.
Mortgage, Big Bang.
No, they're not great on the road, but they did it against the Kings.
And work with a local team of mortgage experts for great rates and lower fees, more options, and faster closings. Don't let your dream home purchase turn into a nightmare. Call the professionals at GC Global Capital, 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital, your local mortgage professionals.
GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker, NMLS 1091187, license MB 0924983, an equal opportunity lender.
Wright Toyota, the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the state of Arizona, ensures you a buying experience that will exceed all your expectations. Check it out for yourself. Located just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at wrighttoyota.com.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's
do you guys remember the show Malcolm in the Middle?
Talking Stick Resort's summer playcation package. Starting
So, in case you didn't know, Frankie Muniz.
Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
You're live.
Final segment of the day. Jackson Groff, Mike Gross here at the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona. As we wrap it up, they're going to be here, though. They're here all night. They keep the window open until the final event is over. And here to take care of you with the window, with live folks, and this 24-hour kiosk inside the sportsbook, as well as the wall right outside as you come in. So stop by the CAZ Sportsbook, and they will take good care of you. Jackson, this is the part of the show where we do our picks.
Let's go.
And we've got a couple of NBA games, and, of course, the big event of the day is from Churchill Downs in Kentucky. So we'll make a horse racing pick to show people how much we listen to Marco in his earlier segment.
So we all had a good week last week. We all went 2-1.
Yeah, us.
Casey went 3-0. How about that? Representing the CAZ Sportsbook. We didn't.
Casey goes 3-0, then takes the day off.
I know, right? Well, what's up with that? I guess he just wants to celebrate his win. He's scared of coming back, or who knows. But let's start out Warriors, Lakers, the big game of the night. Lakers favored by 3.5 points. The over-under total at 228.5. Bauer likes the over in this one. Give me the Lakers. I think they bounce back here. I think 80. He just plays better at home. Give me LeBron James and the boys in Los Angeles. Gross?
It's not good radio necessarily to agree with your co-host on everything, but on this one, we do agree. Give me the Lakers, 3.5. Look, there's going to be energy in that building. I think this is a fan base that wasn't expecting this team to be playing still. You look at how their regular season went. They were in the play-in tournament. They advanced out of that. They won their opening series, dispatching the Memphis Grizzlies. I like the Lakers today at home. I still like the Warriors in this series, but at home, 3.5, I can deal with that. Look, the Warriors, they weren't a great team on the road during the regular season. I know it's a different beast in the postseason, but still you got to factor that in. Give me the Lakers. Jack Nicholson was at the game recently. Come on. Give me the Lakers.
Yeah, and the Warriors, their last two road games, they have won. They won one, if you remember, Game 5 and Game 7 over there in Sacramento. But the big game tomorrow, big game of the weekend, Nuggets at Suns. Game 4 tips off 5 p.m. on TNT. Suns favored by 2.5 points, which I'm a betting guy. We're betting guys ourselves. I see it kind of changing at tip-off. Maybe it might be 1.5 or a pick 'em. Would you not? Probably when tip-off comes?
I would agree on that, because I think – a lot of people are thinking what we talked about. It was a nice win last night, but the way they got that win last night is not something you want to bank on.
I think a lot of the money is going to go towards the Nuggets.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
That what the Suns did last night can't be duplicated. Chris Paul's not coming back, and you have to have serious questions about DeAndre Ayton, and you have to have serious questions about the bench production. Like what bench rotation you're going to see, number one, and will they produce? Because they really haven't in any meaningful way throughout not only this series, but go all the way back to the postseason, the postseason series against the Clippers. So, give me Give me the Suns, but it still worries me.
The over-under total is at 227.5. Is that Ryan over there?
That's Ryan.
Wow, Ryan Stark is in the building. That's crazy. Well, I'm going to go Suns 2.5. I think they bounce back once again. The home court advantage. Give me the Suns.
All right. What do we got last?
What do you?
Already said.
Pick? Oh, you said the Suns?
Suns, yeah.
My bad. Bauer went Nuggets. And then the Kentucky Derby, the event of the day. I believe that the race is at 5:30. You said?
No, it's Eastern time, but 3 something here.
2:30, 3:45. Okay, I'm gonna go 8. Horse number 8, Maj, 17-1. I'm going the big underdog. I liked when Marco broke him down, and he said he's got a good jockey. He's got a lot of potential, and kind of reminds him of Forte.
Yep.
Give me Maj.
I was doing my research on this, and I found out that Japanese horses are 0-18 in the Kentucky Derby to date. And it's just one of those things when you dig into the numbers and look at it that you got to factor in to that. But when I look at it, and if you made me make a pick right now, I like Angels of Empire. I just think you look at this one with the Forte being scratched. I think you got to go Angel of Empire to win this thing.
And then Bauer's going Trice.
I don't know what the hell the Japanese horse. Which one is the horse from Japan?
I think it's Maj.
No, that's why I didn't. Is that the one you took?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, maybe today's the day they change history. Who knows? I have no idea.
I can't believe I just said that.
Real quickly, as the show wraps up, hey, DeAndre Ayton, if you are out there, brother, please bring your A game on Sunday for this Suns team. We need you, man. Keep your head high.
And then in honor of our guy being here, just coming in and saying hello for the first time ever, Ryan's EPL pick of the week that we gave in the opening segment, 2.5 goals is the total. He says to go over Manchester United and West Ham tomorrow in the EPL. And if you need a player prop and maybe parlay that, look at Marcus Rashford to score a goal for Manchester. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks to Richie back in the studio. Great job as always. Thanks to everybody out here at the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona. Appreciate them taking good care of us as they always do. And special thanks to Marco D'Angelo for making time for us. Busy day for him. Hockey going on in Vegas.
It was good to hear his
horse
voice.
Racing. Marco made time for us today. Follow him on Twitter at Marco in Vegas. And, of course, his website, wagertalk.com. For Bauer, for Jackson, I'm Gross. We remind you, don't forget Rockin' Minuch 1 to 4, Monday through Friday. We'll see you next Saturday right here on Fox Sports 910.
Let's cash some tickets.